we must also revisit this topic. You may recall not long ago in a speech I made somewhere, I told you that to be in a successful marriage or to have a successful marriage is not an easy thing. It is a very difficult thing. It is more difficult to have a successful marriage than to be a successful lawyer. It's more difficult than to be a successful medical doctor. It's more difficult than to practice any other profession. Yet, we spent years studying for our professional qualifications. Lawyers spent 7 years studying how to be a lawyer. The same with doctors. The same with other professions. But nobody ever studied how to be a husband or how to be a wife. We all assumed that being a wife or being a husband is such a basic thing that we all should have all the skills necessary to succeed in marriages. Or we assume that because we were raised by a husband and wife as our parents, that we would have learned how to be husband and wives from our parents. All these things wrong. To be in a marriage somehow goes against basic human natural threats. Even though we go on thinking that marriages were ordained by God, that God created Adam and Eve, and therefore that you and your wife are automatically linked together in place of Adam and Eve. Because of this, many people go into marriages with absolutely no preparation, no understanding of what is expected of them, what is expected of them by state of nature, and what is expected of them by the state, the government, the laws. And that is why you are having incredible crisis in marriages everywhere, particularly now in African countries, in countries like Nigeria. Marriages are falling apart. The institution of marriage is changing rapidly. Why? Many explanations could be proffered. But one thing you must understand is a whole lot of the things we do in marriages or things we are required to do in marriages are not natural to man. They are not easy to come by. For instance, human beings are curious, inquisitive animals. We constantly search for new things, new ideals. We want to change things around us. We want to try something new. Indeed, even if you buy a new car today, you would not love it more than 6 months. After 6 months, you want a different car. You want something else. If you build a house and live in a house, you will enjoy it for a while, but after some time, you want to change the house. You want to change your environment. You want to move on in life. You even want to change your country and relocate to another country. And when it comes to meals, you can't stand the same meal more than once a day. Can you imagine? If I give you rice for lunch and rice for dinner the same day, you will get upset. You will ask, is it only rice we have in this house? Can't we try something else? If I give you chicken in the breakfast and chicken for lunch, the same thing. Because we human beings want to try something new. We are programmed to dislike monotony. We don't want to be doing the same thing all the time. But marriage is one thing that you can't change easily. Once you get married to someone, you're expected to stick to that person forever, regardless of New opportunities, varieties of opportunities out there. In fact, you are supposed to close your eyes to all other opportunities. It is difficult. So the question that has come to me so many times when I advise people is, since we cannot change our spouses as we please, since we are not allowed to wake up one morning and look at other women and find someone more beautiful than your wife, or someone more handsome or richer than your husband, since you're expected to stay with that person you married, how can we deal with the fact that we humans hate monotony? How can you reinvent yourself? How can you become new every day? And I say to the women, there are many ways. Don't take anything for granted. Don't assume that the chase is over. The chase is a permanent state of your life. Dress differently. Do things differently. Find a way to continue to reinvent yourself and represent yourself anew. The same with the man. It's not for the women alone. The man must also understand that he must find infinite ways to spice up the marriage, to look new, to look different, to look dashing, to do things that you've not done before. It is that new additional thing that you've not done before that gets your spouse not to feel that sense of monotony, to feel that there is something new. So you must take this seriously. And you must take the issue of learning or knowing more about marriages seriously. No amount of time spent reading about marriages will be wasted. Read about marriages. Read about human nature. Read about yourself. Study yourself. Control your temper. Control your anger. Accept certain principles. Understand that your wife is a human being just like you. Understand that she's a different human being just like you. Understand that two of you can never see things the same way all the time. If we place a plate of rice on a table between two individuals, do you know that the two people will see different things? The same rice in the same plate will be seen differently by these two individuals. That emphasizes an essence of humanity, that we are different. Each individual is unique. So when you go into a marriage, you are bringing two people that are different together. The first thing they should get to understand is how to work together, how to cooperate. There will be fights in your marriages. There will be quarrel. If you are married and you've never had a disagreement with your spouse, there is something wrong with both of you. So, the problem with the marriage is not that you disagreed. The problem with the marriage is not that you have disputes. The problem is what you do about the dispute. How do you handle the disputes? Do you understand that these disputes are necessary? And if they are necessary, welcome them as a natural, well-expected event. And then find a way to make sure it doesn't bog down progress. It doesn't stop you from the marriage. We've seen this again and again in DPA, and we encourage our members to please invest time to understand more about marriage, to understand your obligations in the marriage, to understand in the first place why you got married, to understand the benefits of marriage. Focus on the benefits of marriage. Focus on the benefits of the union. Focus on the benefits of the team spirit it takes to form that union. And then, don't get carried away by the moments of disagreement, which, as I said, are natural. Good luck in your marriage. And I hope you get to know more about your marriage. When you divorce your wife or divorce your husband, you have no idea the next person coming. The next person may be worse than the person you divorced. So think deeply. If it is possible, let it work. But if on the other hand, your marriage has placed your life in danger, you have a duty to terminate that marriage, to dissolve it so you can move forward. Thank you.